The woman who cheated the Boston Marathon. It is the story of Rosie Ruiz, who finished first place in the Boston Marathon's female division, accruing 2:31.56 on 21 April 1980. No one thought that a fraudster woman was rewarded with a medal, a laurel wreath, and a silver bowl. However, after 8 days, Ruiz is defeated in her success after the race leader recognizes that Ruiz jumped into the race a mile before the finish line. The 84th Boston Marathon was won by Rosie Ruiz, a Cuban-American fraudster born on 21 June 1953. However, 8 days after the event, it was determined that she had cheated and had yet to complete the entire route, and her title was revoked. Ruiz was 8 years old when her family migrated to Memphis, Florida in 1962, and she was raised in Havana, Cuba. After arriving in the U.S., Ruiz split up from her mother and resided in Hollywood, Florida with her aunts, uncles, and cousins. She obtained her high school diploma from South Broward in 1972 and enrolled at Wayne State University in Nebraska. In 1977, she received her music degree. Because Ruiz's win was a 25-minute gain over her time for the New York City Marathon, concerns were raised about her because she was unknown in the athletic field. Her winning time was also the third fastest marathon time ever for a girl. On 29 April 1980, Boston Marathon authorities revoked Ruiz of her title. Leaders proclaimed Jacqueline of Canada the division champion with a time of 2:34.28. Ruiz didn't appear in any race photos until the very finish. Later, when officials learned that Ruiz had used the underground during a portion of the race, her New York time was declared ineligible. In the 1970s, she relocated to New York City and finally found employment with the commodities company Metal Traders. She completed the New York Marathon in 1979 at 2:56.29, enough for 11th place among women and qualifying time for the Boston Marathon. However, suspicions mounted about Ruiz almost from the beginning. Men's winner Bill Rogers, who had just won his third straight Boston Marathon, noticed that Ruiz could only recall things that most runners know by heart, such as intervals and splits. Others remarked that Ruiz wasn't sweating or panting and that her thighs weren't as solid and sleek as one might anticipate from a world-class runner. Her stress test results later showed that her resting heart rate was 76. She also made a notable improvement, clocking in at 2:31.56, almost 25 minutes faster than her stated time from the New York City Marathon 6 months prior. She said, "I got started with a lot of energy this morning when a reporter questioned why she did not appear exhausted after the taxing run. Some female competitors found it strange that she did not mention the Wellesley College students, who customarily shout encouragement for the first female runners as they passed the campus when asked what she had observed while running through the suburb of Wellesley. Jacqueline, at the 18-mile mark, Jacqueline Garreau, was informed that she was in first place, while Patty Lyons was told that she was in second place. Only passing them both unnoticed was possible for Ruiz. According to several spotters at race checkpoints, she was not seen among the first wave of ladies. She also did not appear in any photographs or videos. John Faulkner and Sola Mahoney, two Harvard students, reported witnessing Ruiz emerge from a crowd of onlookers on Commonwealth Avenue, half a mile from the finish line. A freelance photographer, Susan Morrow, claimed to have met her shortly after that and accompanied her to the New York City Marathon after meeting on the tube during the marathon. After that, she stopped communicating with Ruiz but came forward after hearing about his controversial Boston victory. The two then traveled a short distance to the finish line when Ruiz declared herself an injured runner. She was led to a first aid facility where volunteers registered her as having finished the marathon, making her eligible for the Boston Marathon. Authorities of the New York City Marathon initiated an inquiry, but discovered no trace of Ruiz close to the finish line. Ruiz was retrospectively disqualified from the 1979 race on 25 April based on this and other evidence, with marathon director Fred Lebo stating that she could not complete the route. Later that week, the Boston Athletic Association, BAA, disqualified Ruiz from the Boston Marathon. While New York's action automatically disqualified Ruiz from Boston as well, Boston officials wanted to do their investigation before taking action. Garreau was declared the female winner at 2:34.28, at the time the fastest recorded for a woman in the Boston Marathon. Lyons was promoted to second. At the time, her record of 2:35.08 was the shortest ever registered for an American woman in a marathon. During a CTV interview in July 2019, Garreau said she felt pity for Ruiz, but had no ill feelings toward her. Ruiz was taken into custody in 1982 for stealing $60,000, the equivalent of $168,000 in 2021, from the real estate firm where she was employed. She received a 5-year probationary term after spending 1 week in jail. She later relocated back to South Florida, where she was detained for her role in a cocaine trade in 1983. She was given a 3-year probationary period. In January 1984, Ruiz married Caro Vivas, had 3 kids, and divorced in August 1986, but kept the Vivas surname. In April 1993, she worked in West Palm Beach as a client representative for a medical laboratory company. In 2000, she ran a race in the Boston Marathon. However, a few months after the competition, according to Steve Merrick, an acquaintance confessed to him that she had cheated, saying that she rushed out of the crowd, unaware that the first woman hadn't gone by yet. She came in first, and believe me, she was as astonished as everybody. At age 66, Ruiz died from cancer in Lake Worth Beach on 8 July 2019.